My mission in life is to raise my daughters as queens and be a positive impact in the life of every woman that I encounter by helping her walk in her purpose, implement structure, and come up with execution strategies for success in the present. I'm also a firm believer in calling out to all the women of the world. Practice self-care by taking care of ourselves physically, mentally, and spiritually. But I've not always had this mindset. I grew up in Cameroon, West Africa. I come from a family of 6 siblings, and both of my parents are educators. Society standards try to conform us on what society wants the woman to be. Get an education. Get a job. Get married. And not just to any man, a husband with a good job. And then have children. And when you have children, when are you having number 2? And we spend our lives trying to conform to what society has defined for the woman to be. How often do we sit and actually live life on our own terms and live in the present? We're constantly planning for the future on what is and what is to be. We're constantly doing for all and everyone. The one question is, who is coming to save us? Who is coming to save the women of the world? I was 24 weeks pregnant when I woke up one day in excruciating pain. I wanted to have a child, start a family, and I kept planning for that lifestyle and not quite taking care of myself. I was living in the future, the moment when I would have this dream family. I remember this morning vividly. The pain that woke me up. The pain that confused me so much that I walked to the hospital. This is a 5-month-old pregnant lady walking at 5 in the morning to the emergency room. Of course, the nurses thought I was crazy when I walked up to the counter. They immediately called my doctor, wheeled me into a room. The doctor came in, and I'm scared. I wanted to bring this baby to the world and nurture her and love her. I'd been planning for this. I didn't want to have my baby preterm, and I especially wasn't going to lose my baby that day. The doctor walked in. After some tests, she said, "We are not having this baby today." And I said, "Thank God." But she said, "You are not going back to work. This is me. I have lived my whole life trying to conform to what everybody wanted of me. Be the best at work, own a business, run this family, living all this stuff. I had never once just paused and not worked. What am I going to do for the next 4 months until my baby comes to this world?" Unfortunately for me, I had a source of income, right? And it makes me wonder about the other woman who was not gainfully employed by the federal government, who now had to go on bed rest without a source of income. How is she taking care of her family? How is she turning the lights on for that child that she's nurturing to bring to this world? 4 months of no pay. I didn't have to deal with that, but I had to deal with the fact that for 4 months, I was going to put my feet up and do nothing. I went home. I followed the doctor's orders. It was so hard. In that moment of pain and silence, that's when I realized I was focusing my energy on the wrong things. I was focusing my energy on what society expected of this woman. I wasn't taking care of myself. I wasn't doing what I needed to do to bring forth this beautiful baby into the world. And in this moment of silence and pain, I had to pause and reflect and refocus my mind on taking care of myself, living on my own terms, living in the present and being present where I was. It was important for me to hear the cry of the baby that was growing inside of me. Bring her to this world healthy and loving her. That was my priority. A mindset shift happened. I wasn't worrying about the baby's nursery I hadn't gotten ready. I wasn't worrying about all the shopping that I had to do. I was focusing on taking care of myself on my own terms, right there in that moment. Because we had one end goal, a healthy baby. And let's fast forward 2 years later, just 2 weeks ago. It'd been a long week. And on Friday, I called my husband and I said, we're going to watch movies today. After we put the kids in bed, drink some wine and relax. Baby, it's been a long week. And he said, yes. He got home, we did dinner, and my husband is upstairs putting the kids to bed. So he can join me. Let's spend this beautiful evening together. You know how when I talk about we keep planning to do stuff and not necessarily living in the moment? I made a plan. I pushed spending quality time with family and my husband and kept pushing it. And this one time I said, let's do it, baby. I'm sitting there, my husband is upstairs. And suddenly, I go, I couldn't breathe. And I said, what's happening? I tried to call my husband upstairs, and I couldn't even call his name. And I said, what's happening? But I knew better, not to walk to the emergency room, not to take care of myself. I picked up my phone right beside me, and I dialed 911. And my husband, who was upstairs planning to join me for a beautiful evening, what drove him down the stairs was the sirens of the ambulance that was wheeling me to the emergency room. Just 30 minutes prior to me going to the emergency room, I was planning to have a beautiful evening with my husband. And 30 minutes later, I'm right there in the emergency room, strapped to all kinds of tubes and bleeding the instrument. When I tell you that life is too short and we need to live in the present moment, it's not a figure of speech. It's a reality. We have to stop living according to societal standards. We have to redefine the life that we want for ourselves and live it. We have to live life each day to the fullest. And I'm calling on you, all mothers of the world. Seize that opportunity. Horn that experience. Don't wait to leave. And if you are waiting to leave, you are making a big mistake. Thank you.